The Rip City Drive.
Welcome into this web extra here for Rip City Radio 620. Chris Burkhardt here with my man Preston Highfield. And Preston, it's time for us to go into your wheelhouse, all right? We've done enough of you helping me talk basketball when the NBA is my jam. It's now time to talk Duck football, right? Big news over the last 24 hours. Some good, some bad. Let's start with the bad. First off, Oregon commit DJ Moore, everyone pretty much felt was a lock to Oregon until the last few weeks or so, flipped at the last minute, has now committed to UCLA. Of course, we'll see what happens when pen hits paper, right? You never know. That's the bad. The good? The reason why probably is because Bo Nix has announced that he will be back under center in 2023 for your Oregon Ducks. How jazzed are you?
Man, that's an absolute Christmas gift come early. I think that there were clues to it happening. Him announcing that he would play in the Holiday Bowl essentially when the schedule was released was a big clue that he was in all likelihood returning. I know the University of Oregon kind of marketed that he would be present and playing in that Holiday Bowl in San Diego in a week and a half because they want Oregon fans to go to the game. And it's a great sign. I mean, Bo was among the nation leaders in total touchdowns this year through midway through November until the Washington game when he got hurt. He was on the short list of Heisman candidates, and he instantly helps Oregon's offense in a huge way, obviously. And with Kenny Dillingham leaving to take the ASU job, it was going to be like a full-on rebuild. If there was a new OC in Will Stein and a quarterback like Ty Thompson or Jay Butterfield, probably would have been Ty, as Butterfield's in the transfer portal right now. Ty Thompson and a new OC doesn't exactly scream, preseason Pac-12 favorite and potent offense, but Bo Nix back with Will Stein, that screams, this is an offense to be reckoned with, man. And Bo and Caleb Williams and Michael Penix Jr. all coming back. The Pac-12 is going to be a lot of fun next year.
Yeah, it's quarterback stacked, man. And you look at UCLA, it's an interesting one there. They got a transfer quarterback from Kent State, and then they got Dante Moore. You don't necessarily know who's going to be the guy. Moore probably enters day one as the number 2 with a realistic chance of taking over. But that hurts Oregon because here's the situation in Oregon now. I mean, Butterfield entered the portal. You have Ty Thompson, which is shocking that you haven't heard that name officially enter the portal, right? So you got 2 QBs, you're too deep. Like, what do you do? And you just lost a 5-star recruit there. Do they rebound? Do they continue to hit the transfer portal, maybe get some depth there? Like, what do you feel?
Well, I mean, as we talked about in our Beaver segment a little bit, think about how many high-quality quarterbacks are in the portal right now, and it's going to be the same, if not more, next season. It just is. So you can honestly think, like, I bet Phil Knight and Dan Lanning and some prominent other boosters and the rest of the Oregon coaching staff, at least offensive staff, were in a room, and they probably had the exact same discussion you and I are having right now, which is, what is our approach to recruiting quarterbacks? Is it the transfer portal? Because obviously Bo Nix is working out very well. Vernon Adams, who transferred in a couple years ago, worked out very well. Before that, though, Justin Herbert and Marcus Mariota, 2 of the great QBs this program has ever seen, were naturally recruited. So, in my opinion, the answer is you need to have your feet in both waters. You need to be recruiting the 5 stars like Dante Moore out of high school, but you also can go with the proven commodity in Nix. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Bo Nix announced he was coming back for another season in Oregon around the same 12-hour period that Dante Moore announced that he'd flipped from Oregon to UCLA. I'm sure all folks were talking. I'm sure Oregon said, do we want to match UCLA's NIL offer, which, if you believe Twitter rumors, was anywhere from $5 to $10 million, which is absurd. And I'm sure the Oregon brass was saying, do we want to match that? And you know what? If you're Oregon, and I get that Tennessee paid that Nico Iamaleava quarterback like $8 million, I don't think that's a very good look for your brand or your school. And some people can disagree with that, or they can say, who cares? I think it's weird to openly pay before the kid even gets to campus $8 million or whatever the number is. Say it's even half that. Say it's $4 million. It's still an absurd amount of money. just to get him to campus. Whereas you can pay Nix probably around $1 million. I looked it up. I know you looked up some draft compensation as well. It looks like once you officially sign with the team and you're on a roster in the NFL, the rookie minimum is $705,000. So my guess would be Oregon probably found a way to drum up an NIL compensation package that reflected that or more, probably a bit more. If I had to absolutely guess, I would guess it's maybe close to $1 million. And I know I'm running along here, but I just think that Oregon's brass and its boosters had a conversation. Do we pay this high school kid a ton of money and match UCLA? Or do we bring back Nix, or both? I'm sure they extended Nix the offer regardless. In the best of both worlds, I think they would have loved to have Nix and Dante Moore on the roster, but UCLA probably offered a massive deal, and Oregon said, we're good. We're going to roll with Nix. And you know what? They can roll with other transfer QBs in the future too.
Yeah, you have to continue to recruit the high school players, because in the current landscape of things, you're just always recruiting. You never know what's coming up. I mean, it's not completely out of the realm of possibility. And tinfoil hat here, not completely out of the realm of possibility that Dante Moore goes down, wins the starting job at UCLA, plays a year there, puts up decent numbers. Bo Nix is officially out of eligibility. There's plenty of room in the Oregon quarterback room again. And Dante Moore goes, all right, going back to Oregon.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds weird, but in the current landscape with the transfer portal, not unheard of. That's going to do it for this Web Extra. But before you go, be sure to go down under the video. You see it right there. There's a little bell. There's the little share symbol. You got to like, you got to share, you got to subscribe.